Good morning, children. Are you fine? Hearty welcome to all of you for today's moral science session. Come, let's learn another chapter from our moral science textbook. Chapter 7, Readiness to Serve. As we know, service. What do you mean by service, children? Yes, serve others is a good quality. We all should cultivate it. Today, I will be discussing two great personalities, their life and career. They are well known for their service to humanity. Okay, let's move on to our textbook. See, who are they? One is an actress, Nandita Das. And the second one is Daya Bai. Let's learn more about them. Okay, Nandita Das. Have you seen her picture? Yes, she is an actress as well as a social activist. She has acted in over 40 feature films in 10 different languages. Once, she spoke to an interviewer that Mercy Matthew or Daya Bhai is a role model. Okay, so who is Nandita Das? She is a famous actress as well as a social activist. She has acted in over 40 feature films in 10 different languages. Okay, so let's read more about Nandita Das. The Indian actress Nandita Das, who is renowned not just for her superlative performance in films, but also for her social activism and her commitment to social issues, once spoke in an interview about the role models in her life. This is what she had to say. So, what's happening there, children? Who is Nandita Das? As I told you, she is a famous or renowned actress, and at the same time she is very famous for her social activism and commitment to social issues. So here are the words of Nandita Das once she was interviewed by a person. Okay, so one spoke in an interview about the role models in her life. Okay, let's see what did she say. I am often asked, who are your inspirations in life? In the hope that I will rattle off some famous names that would make a good sound bite. Mercy Matthew, or rather Daya Bai, as she is known in the tribal areas of Madhya Pradesh, may not be famous, but she is a very, very special person who has constantly inspired me and reinforced my sense of commitment in certain values and my choices in life. Okay, children, first of all, I'll give you the meanings of some new words. See the first one, rattle off. Have you seen that in the second line? In the hope that I will rattle off some famous names. So what's the meaning of rattle off, children? Children, take your pencil and you can write the name in your textbook itself. First of all, underline the word rattle off. So what's the meaning of rattle off? To say something quickly. To say something quickly. RATTLEOFF, meaning to say something quickly. Okay, so let's see the explanation, children. I am often asked, who are your inspirations in life? So once an interviewer asked her a question. Who are your inspirations in life, or who are your role models in life? So the interviewer thought that Nandita would say the famous names, or Nandita would rattle off some famous names. The interviewer thought that Nandita Das would say something quickly, would say some names quickly, some famous names quickly. But what did she say, children? She said that her role model is Mercy Matthew, or rather Daya Bai. She is known, or she is well known in the tribal areas of Madhya Pradesh, and they call her Daya Bai. She may not be famous, but she is a very, very special person to Nandita. She constantly inspired her. Who constantly inspired her? Dayabai constantly, continuously inspired Nandita Das and reinforced her sense of commitment. What's the meaning of reinforced? Reinforced means strengthened or supported. So she may not be famous, but she is a very, very special person to Nandita Das because she has constantly inspired her, or she has strengthened her sense of commitment in certain values and her choices in life. I hope you get this paragraph. Okay, children. So let's move on to the next one. I could go on and on about her way of life, her struggles, her joys, her choices. But I am prisms through which we see life are probably so different. Most people would think of her as either being mad or foolish, or at the most take pity on her. What a waste of a life. Poor thing, look at her cracked hands and feet. She could have done so much better. After all, she is a double postgrad and speaks fluent English. What a big sacrifice she is making. When Dayabai hears these comments, she just laughs heartily like a child. She finds it amusing and strange. Working and caring for people is not work for me. It's simply life, she says. It's not a sacrifice, far from it. It's the only way I know I can live and be happy. Not living this life, not doing what I do, would in fact be a huge sacrifice. I know that if Dayabai were given another life, she would lead it the same way all over again. Okay, children, and let's see the explanation. So I could go on and on about her way of life, her struggles, joys, and choices. So Nandita Das continued like this. I could go on and on about her. I wanted to pursue her life. I wanted to imitate her life. I wanted to imitate her way of life. I wanted to follow her struggles, her joys, and her choices. But I'm very sure people are different in their opinions. Most people would think of her is being mad or foolish, or at the most take pity on her. So what's the opinion of people? Even educated people would think like this. Yes, she is a mad one, or she is a foolish person, and they felt pity on her. What a waste of life. Poor thing. Look at her cracked hands and feet. What's the meaning of cracked, children? You know what's the meaning of cracked? Damaged or showing lines. We can see cracked foot. Okay, so poor thing. Look at her cracked hands and feet. She could have done so much better. After all, she is a double postgraduate. So, did you get Dayabhai's educational qualification, children? She is a double postgraduate, and she speaks fluent English too. So, what a big sacrifice she is making. So, somebody says, what a big sacrifice Dayabai is making. When Dayabai hears these comments, she just laughs like a child. She finds it interesting. She finds it amusing. Then, what's a reply given by Dayabai? Working and caring for people is not work for me. I don't consider it as a work. Working and caring or serve others, it's not a work for me. It's my life. It's not a sacrifice. It's the only way I know I can live and be happy. I find happiness in serving others. I don't consider it as a work, or I don't consider it as a burden for me. It's simply my life. Okay, not living this life, not doing what I do would in fact be a huge sacrifice. But people felt it as a sacrifice. But she doesn't consider it as a sacrifice. She says that it's not a sacrifice, far from it. It's the way, or it is the only way she knows she can live and be happy. And then at last, according to Nandita Das, she says, I know that if Dayabai were given another life, she would lead it the same way all over again. So, Nandita Das, what did she say about her role model? She says that she knew that if Dayabai were given another life, or in her second life, or if she born to another life, she would lead it the same way all over again, or she would lead the same life in her next life also, or in another life. If she were given another life, she would lead it the same way all over again. Hope you understood this passage, children. So now let's see who is Dayabai. Have you seen the picture of Dayabai? Yes. See. Let's see who is she. Dayabai or Mercy Matthew. That's her official name, Mercy Matthew, but she is known as Dayabai in Central India. So Dayabai or Mercy Matthew. She hails from a prosperous family in Kerala. Okay, so now we can proudly say she is a Keralite. She is a Malayali. Okay, children, Mercy Matthew or Dayabai. She hails from a prosperous family, a wealthy family in Kerala. She was born and brought up in a wealthy family in Kerala. She left home at the age of 16. Do you know the reason, children? She left home at the age of 16 to join a convent. Mercy Matthew, since she is a Christian, she wanted to become a nun. So she left home at the age of 16 to join a convent. But later, what did she do? Later, forsook religious life to work among the tribes of Central India. But later, she deserted. She deserted that religious life to work among the tribes of Central India. She wanted to work among the tribal people of Central India. She doesn't want to live in a convent, or she doesn't want to join, or she doesn't want to work as a nun. She wanted to lead a life among the tribes of Central India. So over the years, her efforts for the upliftment and empowerment of the tribal people and forest dwellers have won her hearts and accolades. Children, accolade, spelling ACCOLADES. Its pronunciation, accolades. Then what do you mean by accolades? Take your pencil and write down the meaning in your textbook itself, children. Accolades means an award or privilege granted as a special honor. An award or privilege granted as a special honor. An award or privilege granted as a special honor. So what happened to her, children? Over the years, after a few years, her efforts for the upliftment and empowerment of the tribal people of forest dwellers. She worked hard for the upliftment of the tribal people and forest people. Okay, so she had won many accolades, or she had won many awards. She had won many privileges. What do you mean by accolade? An award or privilege granted as a special honor. So, why did she receive several awards, children? Because she has been associated with numerous agitations. She has been associated with numerous campaigns on issues ranging from the protection of the environment to demands for establishing schools in forgotten villages in interior and the tribal Madhya Pradesh. So, her efforts for the upliftment and empowerment of the tribal people and forest dwellers, and at the same time, she associated with the numerous agitations and campaigns. Then, which are the issues, children? The issues are ranging from the protection of the environment. It includes, which are the agitation, children? It includes the protection of the environment, or it demands for the establishment of schools in remote areas, in villages, in interior and tribal Madhya Pradesh. Being one with the tribal community, Dayabai lives among the Gons of Chindwara district in Madhya Pradesh. Still, she lives in Madhya Pradesh. She is one among the tribal community. She lives as one among the tribal community. Dayabai lives among the Gons of Chindwara district in Madhya Pradesh. So, hope you understood who is Dayabai. Okay, children, what did she do for the humanity? Yes, she worked hard for the upliftment and the empowerment of the tribal people in Madhya Pradesh. She has been associated with numerous agitations or numerous campaigns for protection of the environment, or to demanding schools, establishment of schools in remote areas or remote villages in interior and tribal Madhya Pradesh. And where does she leave children? Being one with the tribal community. She lives among the tribals, or she lives among the tribal community. She is one among them. Thereby lives among the Gonds of Chindwara district in Madhya Pradesh. Children, here comes an end of today's session, a small portion. The second part will be explained in our next class. Don't forget to read the portion and write the assignment. Okay, thank you children. Have a nice day.